here's a video overview of what the students have been doing during the last 2 weeks. understand that you come to Washington, major traffic, other people's schedules that have to be considered, getting from point A to point B. And it's a combination of seeing things, hearing things from important political leaders, and then, of course, the small matter of the hands-on learning about Web 2.0, and again, getting those ideas out to other people, and the way to do that. Now, here to talk about the goals of EdLinks and what has been accomplished is a young man who has been involved in education around the world. Josh Yarda, who you know well. He's part of the EdLinks team at the American Institutes for Research. Josh?
Thank you, Ryan. First of all, I just want to, on behalf of the American Institute for Research and the entire EdLinks team, along with KCR, I want to welcome everyone here who's joining us. It's been just a ton of fun working with all of you students the past couple of weeks. And I just want to say a couple of things to you students, but also to everyone else who's joined us today through the internet or here in the auditorium. First of all, as I'm watching this video, it's really quite amazing all the things you guys have been able to squeeze in these past couple of weeks. And I just want to say how impressed I am with all of you students for, one, just your enthusiasm, your perseverance. I know that you've been able to get a little bit of sleep every night, but even in the evening when you should be sleeping, you're working on your presentations that I saw you guys making in that video. You're exploring things on the internet and working on different things with your computers, talking to each other about different things. So even though sleep was at a premium, you guys really did a good job for these 2 weeks and squeezing the most out of it. So I congratulate you all for that. For those of you that don't know, and many of you do, the students that were selected for this program, in order to get to where they are right now, they had to go through just an incredibly rigorous and highly selective, competitive process to be chosen for this program. So even though what we've seen these past couple of weeks is very, very impressive in its own right, what you guys have accomplished in your schools and your communities so far back in Pakistan, that's even more impressive. You've already established yourself as leaders in your school and as leaders in your community, and now you've had this experience, and you're going to be going back to Pakistan, and people are going to look to you even more than they did before as leaders. And so one of the things that I just want to talk about briefly is how this program fits in with the bigger picture, both in terms of this exchange program and how it fits into EdLinks' bigger goals, but then EdLinks and how it fits into kind of the bigger picture for all of you and going back to your communities in Pakistan. The EdLinks project, of which this exchange program is one piece, is a project that's funded by USAID, the people that we met with yesterday, and it's the prime implementer is my organization, the American Institute for Research, and then we work with KDO Innovations to put on this exchange program. But the bigger EdLinks, this is the 2-week program we get to work with you, but then the larger EdLinks, what it's trying to do is to make sure that when you go back to Pakistan, the schools you're going back to have the resources, your teachers have the training and the resources to continue a lot of the learning that you guys started here these 2 weeks. EdLinks focuses on what we consider to be the 3 most important parts of a good education system. And the first most important part is your teachers. EdLinks is working in Pakistan to help train your teachers, to work with your teachers, to share what they see as what are called best practices, or what's the best way to have a classroom of students and encourage you all to do what you've done for these past couple of weeks and ask questions and think critically about your subject, and really encourage you to be curious and passionate about your learning. You guys will all be going back to Pakistan schools and some of you don't. One of the things that our project is going to do is it's going to work in your district and with your schools to build computer labs, to build science labs and libraries. We went around yesterday and asked everyone what their favorite part of these 2 weeks were. And it was great to see how many of you said that your favorite part was visiting the library in Fairfax County, seeing all of those books and just having just really kind of the world at your fingertips. You could read about whatever you wanted to, whatever subject interested you. And so our team back in Pakistan wants to make sure that you guys have those types of resources, libraries, science labs, those things, that you can access them when you go back to your schools in Pakistan. Another thing that our project is working with is helping your schools come up with ways to make sure that all the things that your teachers are trying to teach you, to make sure that you and your classmates are learning those things. And if not, how can we present the subject differently so that you can get the most out of it? I don't know how you guys feel about tests. If you are in this program, I know you had to take some tests in order to qualify for this program, so you're all probably pretty good at taking tests. But one of the things our project is doing is working on those tests and making sure those tests can really tell us whether or not you've learned a lesson or which things you really learned well and which things maybe the teacher can spend more time on. And doing that across the country so that different people that are working in your education system can say, oh, this school, the students here have really understood this biology lesson. But these students over here, maybe they have some trouble. So we can put some more resources and some more effort behind teaching these students over here a biology lesson. And the third and really critical part of what Edlinks is doing is working with the Pakistani government. Because everything that we do, we work in partnership. We work for your government. And we look to see where we can add resources and support so that the Pakistani government and the district education officers, where you guys are all from, can take some of these things and keep them going even after our project has finished. And so really the point of this is that this whole program is not just these 2 weeks. For us, what we want to do is make a commitment to you guys that we're not just going to work with you for 2 weeks and then say, okay, great program, this is the end. This is really just getting started. And we want to, through Edlinks, continue to build on these things that we've been talking a lot about these past 2 weeks with all of you. And the bigger thing for me, or as big for me, is not this is kind of my commitment and the Edlinks team, AIR's commitment to all of you when you go back to Pakistan, is that we will continue to work with your teachers and government back in Pakistan to build an even better education system than is there right now. And what I'm asking from all of you, and a lot of you talked about it in your presentations that you've given over the past few days, is what's next for you? And what kinds of things can you do with all the things you've learned and you've seen and you've experienced here when you go back to Pakistan to make your schools better and to provide more opportunities for your classmates and your teachers to learn? Because that's really where this program is going to have its power, is through all of you. You've been here, and every time we go somewhere, you guys have just such great questions and such great things to contribute when people ask questions of you. And what we want to ask of you now is to go back to Pakistan and keep doing that. Share with your classmates and your teachers and your families, your brothers and sisters back in Pakistan what you've learned here. And also ask questions of them. Keep that kind of that curiosity and that passion for learning alive, so that this program keeps going well beyond these 2 weeks. Again, I want to thank you all. We're going to hear from some guest speakers in a little bit, and so I want to thank all of the guest speakers for joining us as well. But most of all, I want to thank you and your chaperones for just an amazing 2 weeks. Thank you guys. This has been a great experience for us. And I look forward to hearing from you when you go back to Pakistan to hear the different things that you're up to. Because I think it's going to be really exciting in hearing some of you and your future
spreading, and it's spreading. You talk to your friends, talk to your other networks that you have, and keep it alive. Today is more or less just the start of what Josh is talking about. While students taking part in EdWings may wish to return to study at our universities, maybe we spark an interest there. Peter Carroll is here. He's the Director of Alumni Relations at George Mason University, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about scholarship opportunities.
Inshallah.
Well, good morning, my friends. Good morning. Thank you. Most of my students don't get that quickly. So this is a picture of George Mason University. Or it was a picture of George Mason University previously. This is a picture of George Mason University. George Mason University is one of the most diverse universities in the nation. And I bring that point up because that's going to be very important to you and your message on scholarships. And then the campus is just a few miles from here. You probably went by it in your travels around the building. George Mason is a public university. Public versus private university. Public means state-supported. Private means independently supported. And that as well will be an important factor when you start to look at scholarships. So today I'm going to give you some ideas. These are basic ideas, but I want you to take them to heart. We want you to study in the U.S. Bringing students from all over the world is very, very important, not only to you, but to us. And as you'll see later on, we actually celebrate foreign students in our country. Foreign students are a very important element, both in our education and in our global understanding. So here's the most obvious scholarship: sports. Many of our Olympics from all over the world come to the U.S. to train at U.S. universities. Now, very few of us, me included, are good at a sport, and so very few scholarships are really available. We don't play cricket at George Mason. I've never understood that game, but we do play soccer and have some very good soccer teams. But I mention it here because I don't want you to overlook any opportunity at a scholarship. And sports plays another important role in when you come here, just as it does at home. When you come here and play sports, it allows you to meet new friends. So I would definitely encourage you to do that. So here are some happy George Mason students, and you should be one of them. Getting a scholarship at a public university is very competitive. It can be done. Scholarships at private universities are somewhat less difficult to get, but private universities are significantly more expensive than public universities. But there are scholarships available, and they won't necessarily cover all of your costs, so you have to be creative. In some cases, but not all, U.S. citizens have priorities. But you have faced difficulties before. As Josh pointed out, your arrival here is overcoming a major difficulty. So you're here in spite of those difficulties. Your strategy is to exhaust every scholarship opportunity. I will emphasize that again. Every scholarship opportunity. First, look at any Pakistan-based scholarships. Then look at Pakistan-U.S.-based scholarships. Even look at U.S.-based Pakistani companies who may have funding. Examine every avenue and pursue every opportunity. So difficulties aside, you want to come here, and we want you to come. This picture is a picture of International Week at George Mason University. And you can see up in the far corner the Pakistan flag as well. We have 140 native languages spoken in our dorms, 140. We have an active Pakistan student organization, and every year one of the highlights of the year is International Week, showcasing the many countries and regions of the world. As I said earlier, George Mason is one of the most diverse universities in the United States. So you will fit in. You will be welcomed. You will meet people from Pakistan. You will meet people from the Middle East. You will meet people from the entire world. And that, my friends, is what you should focus on. You are unique, as Josh identified. You are unique. And universities want unique students in their student you must make that clear in your scholarship application. And the happy day will come for you. Public university or private, you will be a star like many of your Pakistani countrymen. So my encouragement to you is apply, apply, apply. Apply to as many scholarships as you can. Ask, ask, ask. Do not be shy about asking for funding. And tell them who you are, and tell them why you are special. Thank you very much.
Reminds me, I grew up in a rural area in southern Illinois, and my first university was a really big university, so it was an entirely different world. Totally different world. And I think that's kind of important for you to understand. You come here, you've seen this, then coming back to the States can be an interesting, an integral part of your life that you never come to. And we had some students who volunteered to chat with us briefly about some of their experiences. If you come down for just a second, just ask me a few questions. When you first found out that you were coming to the United States, did you have any preconceived notions? Did you have any thoughts about